Alright, it's telling me we're live. Sometimes, when you have chronic depression and executive dysfunction, the only way you can get something done is to make it two different things you're really excited about doing. So in this case, I need to do my session prep. I want to stream something Mystic Arts related. My crazy, sad brain was like, hey, here you go. Put these two things you like to do together. And here we go. Let me link this to the Mystic Arts channel. I am bad at this. I don't know what I'm doing. I am completely a moron when it comes to streaming. But I like to. It's a lot of fun for me. So I'm gonna. Let me see if I can find... Yep, I'm live. Share, grab the URL, throw that in, throw that here, throw this in self-promotion. I'm live doing some session prep. Come join me. Throw that in there. Okay. Do I give it a few minutes to see if anyone actually takes the bait and joins me? Is that something that I do? It says sign in to the chat. Open in the web browser. I doubt anyone jumps into this chat, but I can see a good amount of my Obsidian notes here, so that's good. And tell me if you can hear my music. You shouldn't be able to hear my music. I am blasting power metal because I do have some sort of ADHD TV that requires me to listen to music or go insane. And so music is on. If it's annoying you, please let me know and I will try and figure out how to stop it from annoying you. I won't stop it from helping my brain work, but I will stop it from annoying you if at all possible. Check Dothy's Discord, check my friend who was messaging me earlier. Check several of the other Discords I'm in. My actual game players, I won't message about this because this is their campaign and they don't need to know about it. They don't need to know how half-assed their GM is. I will give my cute dog part of a cracker. Okay. So, I'm currently running a revolver length campaign, which is from a Mystic Arts video. Ah, shit. I should have these Mystic Arts videos ready to link. If I were a smarter person, I would do that. Damn it, Dothy. Where is your video? Campaigns actually have like 6 lengths or some shit. Where's it called? Where's his campaign length video? No, it's not this far back. It's newer than that. D&D has 6 lengths. Okay. Share, copy, into my chat channel that no one is reading anyway. But it's there. Okay. So, in Dothy's wonderful video on the subject of D&D adventure lengths, he mentions several different lengths of campaign, one of them being we talk about the one-shot and the grand campaign very often, which are the one session of D&D and the grand campaign of, a year-long, 2-3 year-long campaign full of shenanigans and adventure. But he posits that there are other lengths of campaign, and one of them is he uses with the one-shot, he uses various gun metaphors, and one of them being a revolver, which a revolver has between 5 and 8 shots, usually in a classical revolving handgun. The 6 gun that cowboys have. So 6 is kind of that idealized number. If you look at my adventure, I've run 1, 2, 3. This is the 4th session. So probably I'm going to go a little bit over that 6 mark, closer to that 8 mark. with what I have planned, but I would like to get it done in 6th, as I have noticed that I have sort of lost my muse on this adventure. A lot of chaos has been going on in my group recently. One of my, well, two of my players decided that they should no longer be in a relationship, and that has thrown a spanner, that's the British word, for wrench, in the works of my D&D group. And so the one player is out of the group because she was really only in there as the girlfriend of the other player, and the other player is still living with her, and so he's having a rough time making it to every session, and so it has kind of killed my enjoyment of this campaign. But I have struggled thus far to finish campaigns for a while, and so I would really like to. So I'm going to try and wrap this up in the next 3 to 4 sessions, I think. It's still worth that many sessions. They've enjoyed it so far, and I'm finding as much fun with it as I can. But I thought that because I'm going through some sort of depressive bout at the moment, that I would stream it, because I wanted to stream a thing and I wanted to do this session prep, and this got me over my executive dysfunction. So bear with me here as I get into it. So this adventure is based on Mystic Arts Patreon's Broadsheet number 6. And in there is a adventure hook called The Pied Piper's Plot, which I believe you should be able to see. Yes, you should be able to see it. It's a dungeon crawl in which some archfey that they have stats for is preparing some sort of opera. There's monsters in a dungeon. Use a mixture of fey and beasts and monstrosities as regular fodder. Make specific possessed NPCs by the Pied Piper to indicate the Pied Piper's plan. Include a likable NPC who escapes the Pied Piper's plot. To help, that NPC could be the Archfey's plans. Yada yada. Okay. And then the Pied Piper is this Archfey that they've created for this broadsheet. They've got stats for him. I probably shouldn't show you the stats for the Pied Piper. But he's super cool. No, that's the actual adventure. Is the Pied Piper right here? No, he's in Monsters. Haha, the Pied Piper. Really cool stat block. Don't want you to look at it too far. These are the wonderful people who've created this. Anna Birna, Brimrun, Dadi, Magnus, and Ivar. That is the team that have made the broadsheets. If you don't follow the Mystic Arts, I am a huge fan of the Mystic Arts YouTube. I'm all over their Discord. They are just wonderful human beings who create fantastic fucking content. All of my games currently take place in their little broadsheet setting, and I love it. It's great. You should throw them all of your money. Dadi, the kind of face of the operation, is a wonderful, wonderful man. I really appreciate him. He does a lot for this community and for the TTRPG space in general, and especially for my games. I'm very inspired by the stories he and his players tell, and the setting that he has given us here. And so, from Broadsheet number 6, I pulled a series of adventures that all reference the Pied Piper. And so, my players have played through several of these already. We are on the 4th session of the campaign. Oops. Number 4, actually. So, they have already played through Protection Money, the Goblin Gangsters, issue number 4. Regularly attempt to break into the store's armory. Robert Cleveland wants the party to track down a gang and make sure they're taught a valuable lesson in private gun ownership. And then they dealt... so I tied this one to Criminal on the Loose. A hobgoblin gangster boss named Shelly Peaks tears free of her manacles, running towards a group of gangsters that open fire on the police. The police want her back dead or alive. Go to the runner's dip, and then the runner's dip is handed over. Upon entering the runner's dip, the entire bar stands up and draws their weapons. A mixture of gangsters, smugglers, and gunslingers. They demand the party hand over their valuables, and they tell you to stay away from the concert hall because there are beasts there. and I just gave him this hook, help needed. They find a litigator named Gabriel Vecco, drunk at the bar, and his concert is about to go to settlement because he can't prove that the concert hall were assholes, and it's their fault that the beasts are attacking people. So I kind of made this little plot here, and so I did a thing that was probably not good DM advice by having the players make very specific characters. So I gave them 6 options to choose from as a patron for their personal character, and each one of these patrons was missing an individual. And so the Unionist Chancellor, Celia Powell, she was missing one of her interns. The Bandits' Lair proprietor, Peter Tails, because I couldn't see Llewellyn Rowe, the actual villain of my campaigns. I couldn't see him giving a flying fuck about one of his employees, but Peter Tails, who's based on the lovely Peter from Tales of Elsewhere, I could see him caring about a sales rep that is like a regular to his inn and establishment. The Marigold Syndicate boss, Benedict Boyle, is looking for one of his prize fighters. He's worried that a rival gangster family, the Gracies, have moved in on his prize fighter. Former president and current provost. I don't know British school. I assume that's like the vice president principal of a school. Trevor Rosenthal, but he's the former president of Atroxia. He's like an old man. He's like George Washington for this setting. He's missing a student. The secretary for the Arcane, Derek Hawley. He's kind of a politician, but also like the land's most powerful enchanting wizard. He's missing one of his federal agents. And then there's a philanthropist named Ronald Olivia Demullius. He is I think previously he was kind of like a senator to a foreign country. Not a senator, a diplomat to a foreign country, like an ambassador to Waterdeep at this time, I think, in the previous president's kind of cabinet, but he's currently in between jobs and kind of functions as a philanthropist. He's one of Dotty's players' characters, but he's mentioned several times in the broadsheets, and I love him. So I've stolen this character to be kind of a Batman-esque figure in my version of Blackguard. He's kind of, he's Bruce Wayne, where he's like, he works for this theater company and this orphanage, but also he's like a 20th level rogue, and if he wanted to, he could just go shit-kicking people. But he tends to hire adventuring types because he can't really be caught by the police or anything. He'd be in super trouble. So, but he's looking for a performer for one of his theater's plays that's gone missing. So they could pick from one of these 6 people, and so I have 4 players, so 4 of them were picked. In this case, I believe it was Benedict Boyle's prize fighter, Trevor Rosenthal's student, Derek Hawley's fed, and Rollo's performer were picked. And it says down here with my player characters. But because of this, if you'll see underneath it says which, it has like laborer, inventor, graduate, smuggler, etc. Those were the backgrounds from the Mystic Arts broadsheets that they could pick, because I wanted my players to get a more of an understanding of what Atroxia really is as this flintlock fantasy by gaslight, as Dottie calls it. It's really this setting of like class warfare, industrialization, urbanization versus nature, this kind of disgust for the arcane and this advancement of technology. It's this coalescing of all these ideas that kind of run counter to the expectations of Dungeons and Dragons that normally it assumes. And one of the things I really love about that is that because the time period Dottie is drawing inspiration from being the Industrial Revolution, because of the problems of that time being so prevalent in our current time, you can kind of tell stories about, Amazon workers peeing in Gatorade bottles because Jeff Bezos won't pay them more and will fire them, right? Like, you can tell that sort of story, only it's Llewellyn Rowe and his fiendish cult of devil worshippers, right? And so eventually my players can just go in and fireball his boardroom and divine smite him to death for being a devil worshipper, right? So I'm really inspired by these kind of ideas, and my players kept making fanfare heroic 5e characters, and they tend to keep to themselves a lot and not reach out to allies. And so with this little adventure, I wanted them to still, play their kind of heroic fantasy characters, but I wanted them to have this kind of understanding that Atroxians are based on their social class and their job more than their psionic powers or their divine angel wings or their ability to trick shot arcane barrages of arrows. They're really, an investigative journalist, a police officer, a dock worker who's caught up with a criminal organization, right? Like, those are the sorts of characters that you build from in Atroxia. And so I kind of really limited them on what backgrounds they could take in an effort to tie them closer into the world and get them thinking about the sorts of characters that they should play. I don't necessarily recommend this for a long-term campaign, but because I knew that this was just going to be a few sessions, I really limited their ability to pick what they wanted to be. And then I tied it specifically to a powerful figure in the setting so that they would have to at least have a couple of scenes dealing with this powerful figure and make the whole party kind of aware that these big important NPCs exist, because I want future campaigns to deal with talking to those types of characters. What's going on here? Thanks for this. So that was my kind of hope with that. So as you can see, I also have a list of what the 6 people are as stat blocks. And so if I need to, I can make their stat blocks, and then I cross-referenced with which character was. And so, so our cast of characters is Dimitri Zabin, a former sandbagger and ally of Rolo's who's searching for the missing performer. Dimitri is a frogman, an Enorian, I think they are, from Broadsheet number 5. So he's a free folk little frogman, kind of sniper guy. He was an assassin, I think, in his backstory, kind of a spy, and he knows Rolo from his time as one of the kingmakers during the war, as an operative for the Atroxian kind of secret service kind of spy agency, and so they're kind of allies from that period of Rolo's life. So he decided, unlike the others, that he doesn't actually know who the missing performer is. He's just doing a favor for Rolo, which I thought was kind of neat, only because everyone else had a much stronger tie to their characters. So I kind of allowed him to kind of buck the grain a little bit on that one. Eloisa Elsie Delgado, she's a tinkerer in debt to the Marigold Syndicate, helping to find the prize fighter. So she decided that she kind of tinkers and works on the casino. The Marigold Syndicate is this crime syndicate that runs a casino in kind of one of the residential districts of Blackguard, the big metropolitan city that I play in. And so she works on various coin machines and games and stuff. She's kind of an inventor. Her family had some sort of dealings with the owner, whose name is Benedict Boyle, and he's this powerful, he used to be a CEO of this wizarding bank corporation, but he went to jail for embezzlement or something, and after he served his time he got out, and now he's this arcane smuggler who operates out of a casino that deals with some of the richest people in the city, and he's shaking hands with the police captains and the governor and the mayor and the president and all these people, and he's kind of this rich and powerful dude. So her family's tied up in that organization. Oliver Strickland is a beat cop. He's just a normal, everyday copper, but he wants to make detective. And he was friends with the missing federal agent, who is a member of the Arcane, the Bureau of Arcane Affairs, which is run by that Derek Hawley fellow I mentioned earlier. And so he is trying to become like an arcane detective because he's tired of being just a regular beat cop. And so Derek Hawley was like, hey, I will fast pass you into my organization if you can find this missing federal agent that you know and have been talking to about getting a job. And then there's Reese McLaughlin, a former veteran and faith healer. He was like a veteran of the war who is he worships the Mother, which is this kind of like Mary Magdalene character that is like this big, totally not Catholic faith that is very dominant in Dothy's setting. And he is working for Rosenthal, who's the former president, and kind of working out of the university to try and shepherd in the next generation of leaders of the country. But what he doesn't know in this instance is that the student is a spy. They're in the spy school because there's a espionage school that I'm really inspired by in the Broadsheet number 3. And so really Rosenthal's like, hey, you need to go find, and it ends up being this character's sister. You need to go find your sister before she gets fucking iced by spies who think she's been burned. So those are kind of the stakes here, is that the prize fighter, people think that he's turned his back on the gang. The spy student thinks they think she's been burned. The Fed might be captured by terrorists or smugglers. And the performer, I didn't mention the performer. The performer is part of some play that criticizes the president. So like each of these characters has a reason to be like they're afraid that they're missing for some reason, right? Like, oh no, this person is in serious danger and you need to help them. And so each of these characters has been brought in, and they've gone on this series of adventures. So basically, each of the characters was last seen at a party for Robert Cleveland, who is the proprietor of a gun shop in City Plaza, which is featured in issue 6 of the Broadsheet, where most of this campaign is taken from. But he's also the brother of 2 of the characters from Dothy's campaign. So I wanted to use him either way, because he's just awesome. And I like those characters a lot from Dothy's game stories. And so my campaign is very much fan fiction of Dothy's setting and the stories that he tells us about in there. And so they find out through helping Robert, like they all show up there, and Robert's place has been vandalized. And they're all like, hey, and he's like, okay, I'd like to sell you some guns. And they're like, we don't want any guns, we want to know where these missing people are. And he goes, all of you are here for a missing person? And they're like, turns out, yeah, I guess we are. And he's like, cool, well, if you deal with these fucking punks who've been vandalizing my store, I will, I'll tell you what I know. And so they go off and they grab Shelly Peaks and they turn her into the cops. And Robert's like, cool. I recognize, yeah, you're talking about this prize fighter. I've seen him. I don't know the student. I do know, the Fed guy I saw. They were all at my birthday party, but I left early. These guys, they went in a separate room with my brother, Barton. And so the kind of the premise that I've set up is that these people were all chummy with Barton and stayed late into the night at the concert hall after most of the party broke away, and then that's when the Pied Piper strikes, and he grabs the missing 4 people and Barton under his Pied Piper-y charm, and that's kind of the premise for the adventure. And so they go off, and they're like, all right, we got Shelly Peaks, and he's like, cool, let me go find out from my brother what happened to your friends. It'll take me a couple days. So they come back to meet him a couple days later out by the courthouse steps because he's had to be witness for Shelly's crimes of racketeering against him. And they meet outside at like a food cart. And as he's getting ready to tell them what happened, Shelly Peaks, as it says in there, breaks her manacles. The guns go off, shooting. And he's like, oh shit! And they all take cover and they go in. They help the scene. And Jefferson Irwin, the police chief, is like, hey, you guys are the ones that brought her in the first time. I want her dead or alive. And Robert Cleveland's like, yeah, so it turns out my brother's also been missing for a while. You guys should really go down to the concert hall to find out. But obviously, take this job from the police chief because you're probably going to have to shoot guns at people, and you don't want the cops to arrest you about that. And so they're like, cool. We'll go in and we'll find her. So they go to the Runner's Dip, which because Shelley had dropped like a matchbook that had that bar's name on it. So they go there and they have a shootout, and the bartender is like, actually, yeah, she's held under some the Kenmore Associates place, which is this like law firm that all the bad guys use to cover up their illegal activities. And so they're like, but she's like, but there's a way into it from this other bar. So they go to the other bar, and that's where they meet the litigator who's drunk and tells them that he needs proof that they knew about the situation, that Kenmore Associates knew about the situation, and that the concert hall knew that there were beasts on the loose, and that hurt his client. And so they're like, cool. So now we know we need to go look for some stuff inside. We need to go find our friends, and that there are beasts and Ledgerman security. And so they go in through the sewers, and I have them get attacked by some rat men because rat men are fun, and I thought it'd be a fun combat. And then they find this little hideout where the Ledgerman goons are kind of keeping Shelley Peaks, and I actually need to figure out. I had mentioned in my last session. So I made this up on the fly because I didn't check my notes because I'm a fool. But Shelley was part of a crew that was hired by Standard Pulp. They're kind of an economic powerhouse that like deforest. They're like a wood deforesting company. They sell all the lumber in Atraxia. So they helped smuggle some artifact from the reign of King Arthur III, which is a character from the Fungal Queen that I really like, into the concert hall. Kenmore Associates don't want to upset her bosses, the Grazies, and want someone to lay the blame at Standard Pulp if the case goes awry. So what did I say here? The Kenmore Associates don't want to upset her bosses, the Grazies. That's the other crime family. And they want someone to lay the blame at Standard Pulp. Okay, so they're hired by the concert hall. So if they can get away with it, they don't want to piss off the crime family. And they're happy to blame the fucking lumber conglomerate. And Shelley is the key to that. So that's kind of our important little bit at the moment. Okay, so as I come into my session prep here, I could write a cold open. I won't for the moment. But my strong start here, I open each session with the first Broadsheet's little opening here. Spring of 1440. We're probably getting towards the end of spring in my current campaigns, but currently it's the spring of 1440 and another war is around the corner. And then I kind of recap the previous adventures. I need to get better about starting this with kind of a actionable statement at the end, so I'm going to work on that today. But anyway, my strong start will be they left off under in the hideout talking to Shelley Peaks, and she knows about what's going on in the concert hall as she's being used as insurance in the case. So I think I want to grab some of these secrets and clues here. So we don't need that one. Once there, the Radigan. No, we don't need the Radigan stuff. So Shelley Peaks. So these two secrets and clues right here, we need to copy and throw straight into our secrets and clues over here. If you don't know about secrets and clues, I use the 8 steps of the Lazy Dungeon Master, which kind of separates your prep into different steps. Sly Flourish has many videos about that. But Dadi also recently did a video about it, which is really good. And so so we want to know, we want to bring these things forward. I don't know that I have any other. Let's see if any of these previous sessions had anything worth stealing. We didn't. I think I want to reiterate this thing about Kenmore Associates a little bit. Let's combine these into one secret and clue, though. kind of a long secret or clue, but yeah, it's not worth 2. I don't know. They probably won't talk to this guy again. I think these are useful secrets and clues to copy over, though. Alright, so we got half our work done for us. Oop, what's this? Okay. Gabriel's client. I haven't named them. I probably should. So that's that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 secrets and clues. That's not enough. We need 10. You don't have to have 10 every time, but you need 10. Let's see. Gabriel Vecco. Let's keep him. Let's keep all of these NPCs to our notable NPCs section. Let's see. What else can we steal from previous sessions? This is number 27, so what was on 24? We don't need any of those. Don't need any of that. And what do we need from the first session? Okay, the Bartholomew Concert Hall. We can grab that. Fantastic locations. Do we have the Kenmore Associates? Let's grab Kenmore. Oh, nope, don't do that. Kenmore Associates. It's completely fine when using this sort of prep style to just rip off your previous notes. I think in Return of the Lazy Dungeon Master, he says come up with new secrets and clues. He has since changed his mind on that, and I think that's the right decision. So we actually don't have Kenmore Associates put on here at all. Okay, so let's grab Kenmore Associates. Oh, we do a dash. Kenmore Associates. And that is going to be in our broadsheet number 6 in the Gazetteer. What do we want to write about this place? I don't want to show you everything in the thing, but damn, I just did anyway. Kenmore and Associates. Largest law firm in the country. Alright, so we'll just do that. Largest law firm in Atroxia. Okay. Oh, that's under NPCs. Let's cut. Paste. I'm bad about leaving periods there. Okay. So we need a few more scenes. So I have a number of maps that I've brought up. Please ignore my wonderful Ginny D wallpaper here. So I think that I want to use these Shapeheku maps. Can't put a faction in. They're not an NPC. Okay, thank God you moved them. Oh. Hey, someone's watching me. Thank you, I assume, Dario on Mystic Extra. So I've got a Shapeheku subscription just for these broadsheet campaigns because they made like a print factory as soon as I needed one. So I'm thinking this is going to be my first level of the dungeon. It's this like wonderful concert hall, and there's like a second level to it that's here. I don't know how much of this I want to use because I really want to get this done in 3 sessions. So I like this. I want to use it, but I might only use the first level or the second level depending on which one is better. Then I found a couple more. There's this really cool atrium looking map. this atrium. It's like I picked the Fae variant of it, and it looks really cool. But I think I've used it in a previous campaign, so maybe I won't use it. I don't know. And then I've got this really cool ballroom. I think that's just really inspiring. There's like this grand piano here, and this double stairs down. I could see like some dryads and some people caught here, maybe. I just don't know how crazy I want to go with this. And then I think that this is our boss fight against the Pied Piper. This kind of beautiful amphitheater with this like goat-horned menace here. I don't know if Dottie gave us art for the Pied Piper in this one, so I may have to go find a boss. But I kind of like this like goat symbology going on here. And then there's like this Greek Bacchus, and I'm not sure what that's supposed to be, but yeah, like this cool goat. So I think this is our boss arena for sure. But I might use 1 or 2 of those levels there. So I think that first off, it is, right? Shepeku, man, some of their maps I think go too crazy, but those ones there are just, you know, like when I find ones that speak to me, they're just so good. Secrets include scenes. I think that there are Ledgerman goons they've already encountered out front. No, that's not a name of a scene. Getting into the concert hall. Ledger goons and beat cops. Keep the site closed and warn of... No, what did I put this in a previous note somewhere. Is it in the secrets and clues? Yeah. The concert hall is closed indefinitely. Signs, beat cops, keep the site closed. Signs say closed indefinitely. Words are hard to spell. Indefinitely. So I don't want that to be a combat encounter necessarily. I think that it's just kind of like a situation of like, how would you guys like to sneak in? And based on where they do, maybe if I look at this ground floor again, maybe there's a couple of spots that they could get in. Like there's probably like Ledgerman goons out in the front, but maybe they could, where would be an interesting place on this map to slip in? This is kind of like a hallway up to the second floor, but there's this cool chaise lounge over here. There's like a cook's station. There's a patio out back. Okay. So let's list some of those things under the scene. Lounge area, patio. Yeah, I think this is the map that we use for the first one. And then like a banquet hall. Let's give them 3 good entrances. I find that 3, and I'm not the only person who believes this, I find that 3 options is enough to let the players talk and plan, but not melt their brains. So, banquet hall. So 3 places that they can enter there. And get past the Ledgerman mooks. Hey, Dottie. Thank you for joining. I appreciate you. I hope this campaign doesn't seem too much like just fanfic of your setting. Because the next thing that I want to mention is that H. Barton Cleveland is a prominent NPC here. So in Dottie's own words, you should, if you're doing the Pied Piper's plot, you should grab a beloved NPC, and from a previous campaign, D&D is a Western. Hey Lou, how are you doing? From a previous NPC game that I ran, they really loved my take on Barton, which I've never seen Eva play him. I have no idea how he plays him. I'm just very inspired by the art that Daredevil did with the little coonskin cap. Let me see, I think I have it laying around somewhere. Is it in my active campaigns? Daredevil did this wonderful art of Barton. It's in one of the broadsheets, I think number one, maybe? CC's got 2 bros here. Yeah. CC. I use CC because Boyle's such an asshole. I use CC as the good guy to Boyle's asshole campaign, so that people who want to play rogues can talk to someone who's not a total pile. Oh, look at this fucking art. No, this is not the one that has Barton. Anyway, Barton, he's got this cute little raccoon skin hat, and my players just fell in love with him. But that campaign kind of fizzled with the situation I mentioned at the start of the stream. And so I was like, this is the perfect opportunity to bring Barton back. I've already got them at Precision Arms for a quest. So we're going to bring Barton back as our beloved NPC who they need to break free. Needs to be freed from Piper. So that's going to be one of our scenes, I think. Barton Cleveland is hanging out in his undies and a coon skin cap with satyrs. Let's get a combat straight out the gate. The index of number 4. Okay, because the creator of this is saying I can go share it and finding me the page, I have to show you this wonderful art. Is it showing up on the... Look at this guy. Look at him. He's so great. I love this art so much. It speaks to me in such like a wonderful way. And I'm sure that Ivar plays him much more straight and narrow than I do. I make him kind of silly. But he, I've listened to some of the politics from his prologues and stuff, and I just really think I was able to, in that one session that we got with him, I kind of pitched him as this kind of realist who wants to do good but isn't quite perfect. He's kind of an aristocrat, but he thinks he works for the working man kind of situation. And so that's kind of how I've played him, where he's maybe doesn't always get it right because he was raised with a silver spoon. He is a fortunate son, but he means well. And I think that played really well with my players, and I'm hoping to be able to capture that essence again with this campaign and kind of reintroduce him into the campaign that way. Yes, Cece needs some love. Cece is my bad bitch. Like, she's like the cool person in the Boyle situation. I'm hoping eventually to run some sort of scenario where she gets to overthrow Boyle and kind of take over the crime family, or maybe they make her realize she's got to kill Boyle. I don't know how that'll go. This is all fan speculation. Obviously it's all my own fan fiction of your guys' characters. I've never seen you play them, but I love them, and so I run them. 7 free NPCs that make me smile when I run them, and if I can pitch them well to my players, it's fun. So, okay, so we need to save some Barton from some satyrs. Let's look at see where that would be. Probably not in here. Probably not in this central stadium. What's going on in here? Where would we have Barton partying at with some satyrs? Where would that be fun? There's a kitchen. There's a storage room. A bathhouse? No, that's an armory for the guards. Do I have some... I wonder if I have some stickers that could spice this map up. So they could enter from here straight. I think the banquet hall makes a lot of sense as this situation. If they enter... Okay. So with the dungeon, they need to find several things. They need to find the 4 missing people and Barton. So 5 people. They need to find information that Kenmore Associates that the concert hall management knew about the potential dangers of their mysterious artifact, which I imagine are the Pied Piper's pipes. So I need information about that. So I need some sort of lobby-esque room, like some sort of room where they would have this sort of paperwork, some manager desk. And then I need a place to fight the Pied Piper. So that's the dungeon, like, in a nutshell. So if I want to have a second floor, I think the second floor might be where a lot of they could rescue some of the people. I don't know if it's better because I have such a tight time frame. I'm trying to close it up in the next 3 or 4 sessions. I don't know if I should have each of these be a fight or each of them be the end boss. Probably just an encounter where they rescue each person. Oh, this map is so much better. This map is so much better. There's like bedrooms. Oh, that's cool. What do people in the chat think? Do we have thoughts? This room is great. This room right here. I want to use this for something. That's got to be... Who do I have from my list? The prize fighter? Maybe we fight the prize fighter here. So we want to rescue Barton from some satyrs. Where's that other map? Because I can have 2 up at a time. I am magical. So if they enter at this lounge, this banquet hall, or this patio, different things could happen. There could be an encounter at each that they could then do. Maybe that's more fun. Maybe make the whole ground floor something, and then they can just kind of use this as a pass-through to get upstairs or to the other encounters. Okay, yeah, I think that's the play. So let's do Barton's hanging out with Satyr in the banquet hall. The patio should probably have some Ledgerman goons. Feel free to throw ideas in the chat of what sort. So beasts, fae, and then I have the 4 characters. Here's theirs. So it's we didn't use the sales rep or the student. So no, we used the student. We didn't use the intern. So we don't have the mage. I'll strike these through. Strike through. And sales rep. I'm actually sad we didn't use the sales rep because I was going to get to play Peter from Tales from Elsewhere. Okay, so we have an assassin, a mage hunter, a performer, which I think is one of the bards, and a prize fighter. I think the prize fighter has to be a boss fight for sure. So a couple Ledgerman goons on the patio. Maybe I'll make them under Fae Charm. Isn't there like a Pixie Wonderbringer? That's not D&D Beyond. That's Dottie Beyond. D&D Beyond. Library. Monster Manual. Fairy. Is it Pixie or Fairy? Fairy Dragon. Pixie. Pixie Wonderbringer. CR4 maybe? CR5. Okay, so let's grab a Pixie Wonderbringer. Let's grab that into the monsters. So there's a Pixie Wonderbringer and... three Ledgermen. Barton's in the hall with... Let's check out the satyrs while we have D&D Beyond open. Because there's 2 satyrs now, I think. There's like a decent CR satyr and then the basic ones. So, yeah, the Revel Master. So this one's probably a social conflict. 6. Well, there's 6 level characters. They could fight this guy. Let's go with a Satyr Revel Master and a Satyr, or like 3 or 4 Satyrs. Copy. Dolly, why are you so handsome in your damn Patreon picture? Okay, so Satyr, Revel, Master, and Satyr. I spelled that right 0 times. Exactly 0 times did I spell Satyr right. English, my first language, my only language. I am not bilingual in any way. I have no excuse for this. So we had the patio, the banquet hall, and the lounge. What do I want going on in the lounge? And then I think the, what is that called? That little central area here. Oh god, I've got it open like 7 times. What is this thing called? Courtyard? Yeah, courtyard. That's a word. The courtyard. I think we need some beasts in here. I don't know what kind, but I think we need some beasts because it does say that there's like fey beasts in this place. The lounge. We've used satyrs. We've used pixies. What are other? God, that fire giant. My players skipped the freaking boss. Like we haven't been able to play the finale of Ruins of Brass, and I'm very sad about it. Go back to the monster manual. Monsters by type. Monsters by type. So Fae. Okay, what else do we have? We got Blink Dogs. Blink Dogs are good. Bugbears. If I use Bugbears, they'll be the Mystic Arts ones. Goblins, again, I'd use Mystic Arts ones. Centaur don't really strike me as in a lounge. Pixies, satyrs, hags, wargs, sprites. Dire wargs, dryads, no. None of the bullywugs. Let's look at the bullywugs. Bullywug warrior, bullywug bog sage. No. None of that makes sense. So let's look at some beasts. Oh god, there's so many. What even would be in here? Because I'm imagining like the Pied Pipers just like summon stuff in from like the Fae. So it could really be whatever we want. Put my hand in front of my mouth so that I can't be heard on the thing where I'm trying to have people hear me. Pro streamer. Let's see. Some giant animals. What else? What would be fun? What would even be... Goats. Are these giant goats or are these just annoying goats? How annoying can we make these goats? 0, 0, no. 0 chance. 0 chance that those goats are annoying. Oh, but there are giant goats. How big are giant goats? Are they huge or are they large? Large giant goats. No, my players are level 6. They will kill those goats instantly. Some dire wolves are always easy. Could also just be some wargs. I guess I could just leave it open. I could leave it open. And maybe there's a role-playing encounter in there. If chat has ideas and are still watching, feel free to talk to me. Do I just use these bugbears and not have to make a bunch of Mystic Arts monsters in the homebrew? Is that the play? I don't think that's the play. I don't think that excites me. I think the Mystic monsters excite me far more than that. Do I have Mystic monsters in here? I don't want to show off all the Dahlia's shit anyway. So let's put Mystic monsters goblins. No, it doesn't have to, but not everything has to be combat. What would be interesting in the lounge? Because Barton's hanging out with those guys, and it could be combat, but it doesn't have to be. The Pixie also could be combat, but doesn't have to be. What's a similar challenge in the lounge that could be fun that way. Maybe some plants. Maybe there's a fucking shrubbery. A shrubbery. Plants. An awakened shrub, an awakened tree. Bunch of evil stuff. Some blights. A treant. They could fight a treant if they needed to. What if there was a treant, though? What does he do? Ancient inhabitants of the forest, these gigantic, they animate trees with wizened faces. CR9, oh, that's tough as hell. That's tougher than it needs to be. What about a shrubbery? Awakened shrub. CR0. No, they'll kick the shit out of that. That's not a shambling mound. Shambling mounds embody the tenacity of the wilderness, seeking to consume and grow. What CR are they? 5? Let's put a shambling mound and some blights in there. Okay, so... But... let's put a treasure in the mound. So they could just, like, walk past it. They could just walk past the shambling mound, but we'll put some sort of treasure in there. Weapon or something. Some sort of magical weapon. I've got a pugilist, so that's hard to do anything with. Everyone else uses guns, and they've all got Cleveland guns, so maybe a weapon's not so easily added. Okay, beasts. Beasts. We want dire wolves, for sure. Dire wolves. Maybe wargs. Dire wolf. What are they? CR14? Or are they bigger than that? CR1. Okay, so I could use a bunch of those. And then... what goes with dire wolves? Killer whales? Just a bunch of killer whales. What about a bear? Do we have a badass bear? The brown bear. That's a baby bear, right? Yeah, CR1. We need a bigger bear than that. We could do an owlbear. We could do an owlbear. Isn't there like a cave bear or something, though? Constrictor snake. Constrictor snake. That's the little one. That's the druid form one. Where's the... isn't it a giant constrictor? Is it just a giant bear? Giant constrictor snake. CR2. Okay. Owlbear's good. I love owlbear, but I want to use this bad boy. Where's he at? It's like called like a primordial owlbear or some shit like that, and he flies like 5 feet or something awful. I think that's like a boss-worthy fight. Yeah! Yeah, no, he's talking about him in the chat. The oh, he's a monstrosity. That's why I can't find him. Primeval... so this guy needs a whole ass fight, in my opinion. CR7. The prize fighter and the primeval owlbear are fighting together. That's the boss fight. That's got to be the boss fight. That's on the 2nd floor. What does Sly Flourish's math say about this being the boss fight? Yeah, so the primordial owlbear and the prize fighter are wrestling for the amusement of a crowd. That's a scene. What is this room called? This is like the 2nd stage or something like that. Stage room. Prime evil owlbear versus prize fighter in crowd of fae. That's definitely a scene. Dahlia's got it. That's 100% got to be the scene. So dire wolves, giant constrictor, and you know we could always foreshadow. Foreshadowing is a literary device, as Mystic Arts teaches us. So let's put an owlbear in here. And I use lazy DM encounter math, which says that a fight may be deadly if the combined level of player levels, or the combined monster CR is equal to or greater than 1/2 of the player levels. I've got 4 players at level 7 now, so 28, so half is 14. So I have 14 CR to work with. I could probably have more than one owlbear. Couple owlbears, couple giant constrictor snakes, couple dire wolves. Doesn't have to be the biggest, deadliest fight they ever fought. That's probably good for the courtyard. So we get into the second level. That's the boss fight of the second level. What other rooms do we want something cool happening in? So they can save Barton. And I think Barton's the only person they can save on the first floor, which means we have 4 other rooms to work with. We got the prize fighter up here. I think I still want to use this ballroom as someone to save. Ah, what is happening? I've opened too many pictures. This ballroom. I really like this ballroom. I think 2 guests are in the top floor, and then I think 2 guests are here, and this is the second dungeon bit that we can do. This I could probably get a whole session out of this with some dryads and stuff. And then the finale is here, where they stop the Pied Piper. So I think I want to put... So we've got the prize fighter up there. Who else can we pull from our list? Do we have any thoughts? We've got the prize fighter and the mage hunter. I think the mage hunter and the assassin... So I think the mage hunter and the performer, so the fed and the actor, should go in the ballroom. Which leaves us the boxer and the boxer and the assassin. So the student should be in one of these maps. What is the next coolest room after this one? Also, what is a room that looks like a study or something? Where standard pulps. Okay, so that's an office, but it connects to the main path. So maybe that's not where we put stuff. Too many of these are bedrooms now. Too many of these are bedrooms. Oh, there's catwalks. I could do some random encounters on the catwalks. That might be fun. I also like wargs. That's another fey creature to use. Although, maybe the Mystic Monsters has wargs that the hobgoblins ride? I don't remember. What would be an interesting scene here? I also have the druids from Fungal Queen that I might consider using. I don't want to show those off, but there's like a minotaur, a satyr, and a dryad. So I might actually use those in the in this ballroom. I might use those druids from the Fungal Queen here because they're super good and would add the oomph to the mage hunter and the performer stat blocks that I was going to use. So, but that's probably a second session. That's probably not this session. This session is probably limited to the first 2 floors of this. I need them to be able to find some information about... So I think if they win the boss fight here, they just get the information here. I think I'm overthinking it. I think that's probably the best. Concert hall. Would he be a president? President. Office. Here is a note from Standard Pulp discussing the purchase of a set of pipes from the time of King Arthur III. Probably need better information than that, but that'll be in the secrets and clues probably. One more room. So it's got to be on the opposite end. It's got to be one of these rooms down in this area. I kind of like this one with the raised dais to the platform here. That's kind of cool. So I think we want to use this, call it like the honeymoon suite, maybe? Is that what we'd call that? Let's call it the honeymoon suite. The student is here. What is the student doing here? What are some cool fae we haven't used yet? We could also use monsters. Peritons. Bear owls. We could just kidnap Cece with the bear owls. Who would do that? That's just awful. I don't know anyone who would do that. None of those speak to me. Faye. What about... You know what? Isn't there a fucking evil new hag stat block in the Ravenloft book? Mother Lorinda. Oh god, look at that art. What is this? Okay, Mother Lorinda. Challenge rating 8, so she's in the realm of we could use her. We could ignore the Dark Lord Restoration. Legendary resistance. Mimicry, she can make animal sounds. Bunch of fire damage. She's got spells. Charm person, dancing light. Augury. Mother's visage. She shapeshifts into the mother. I kind of like this. Let's use this. So the player's character is our cleric. He is a priest, so maybe she's posing as the mother, the kind of goddess from Atraxia. So maybe that would be fun. The student is here, as are several workers under thrall to the mother. A hag. I think that's a fun scenario that they can approach. Let's throw that Mother Lorinda there. So I think that's some good stuff. I think that's all the big combats I need. I need some stuff they can do in the other rooms. So we've got all these other rooms that they can explore, but not a whole lot of interesting stuff. I need some secrets and clues to fill these out. Need some secrets and clues. So we've got this little room here. That has an encounter. The kitchen doesn't have a room, and neither does the armory. So we've got kitchen, armory, we should have a sprite somewhere. Let's put some sprites in the army. Sprites that are here from Queen Titania to stop the Pied Piper. I don't know what to do with that yet, but that sounds interesting. The kitchen, blink dogs. Let's just let him adopt a blink dog. The lick Barton. That sounds fun. I think that's enough for this lower level here. So there's the stairs up, the causeway. I might do some random beast encounters. Let's put that in monsters. D6 beast encounters. Dire wolves, constrictor, snake. Insert, no, what format? Paragraph. bulleted list. Okay. I knew I wasn't crazy. What was another monster that we liked but didn't have enough? Some goblins. Goblin gangsters. Goblin gangsters who've been in here, snuck in and got charmed. Full belly. Dire wolves. Hungry. Goblin gangsters snuck in here. One of these shouldn't be a combat encounter. Should be something cool. Satyr. Ooh, pixies. Pixies cause mischief. And then 1, 2, 3, 4. Another beast, probably. Owlbear. Owlbear. And then this one should be something helpful. Oh, a fairy dragon. Stuck fairy dragon. With cute food name. Because that's how they're named in Orathon. Owlbear. Territorial. Okay, so D6 encounters. Oh, what magic item do we want? Is there anything cool Mystic Arts related? There's like a, I think it's in issue 3. Is it issue 3? Oh, it might be issue 2. Magic items. Yep, it's issue 2. I knew that. I knew that the whole time. There's like a dagger of be a badass or something. Dagger of Noble's Speech. And a Loot of Kings. Let's grab these. Mystic Arts Patreon is available now. It's linked in the bio. For just the price of 3 jars of mustard, you too could plan this campaign I'm planning. So we'll fix all that later in the formatting. Okay. Does chat have any ideas? Any big things I'm missing for this session? I think I've got most of a good session. I still need to fill some of these rooms in, specifically like these 3 right here. I don't know what would be fun as they go through these rooms to encounter. Maybe just some of those. Maybe I just roll a random encounter as they run into these rooms. Yeah, I think there needs to be more. I'm just not sure what. Maybe I put a 3rd person here, but then I'd have to put him in like this room, and I don't think that's very inspiring. I think it's more inspiring to put him in the ballroom and make that a whole session. What would be neat? I don't know if anyone's actually still watching either, so maybe I'm shouting into the void. I can check that somehow, can't I? You are live, but... Oh, yeah, 1 person is watching still. 1 foolish person. But I love you, whoever you are. You are the best. Yeah, I need to come up with an angle for these other 2 rooms. Maybe just those D6 encounters make them fun, but they need to learn something and gain loot as they do. That's kind of the problem. I could put in lore about the Pied Piper in here, though. Yeah, what do we have about the Pied Piper? Dahlia didn't give us a whole lot in the broadsheet about the character. I don't want to reveal his stat block. so I won't. What do I have about him in here? The Pied Piper's plot. The Pied Piper. An archfey who lives to bring music to people, then subsequently traps them in eternal servitude. Okay, so, okay, that could be a thing that we do. One of the bedrooms has workers and thieves playing instruments till their hands bleed. One of the bedrooms has so we did the little Titania one. What else would be fun? Well, I think I have hit a wall for the moment, but I've got a ton of prep done. I haven't done the cold open, but I've still got a few more days. Maybe I'll stream again later in the week. Thank you, everyone who tuned in and watched. I think I've kind of hit a wall at the moment. And, yeah. So this is how easy it is to make a adventure based on a couple of Broadsheet plot lines. I hope anyone who watched this had fun. Thank you for the folks who did stop in, Lou, Dottie, Anna, and who else talked? Yeah, so thank you so much. I think it takes a few seconds to cut out after I hit end.